Welcome back. Seems like One Nation, One Poll will be a reality soon. Sources have told Times Network that the Law Commission's report is ready and that Vice President Kovind-led One Nation, One Poll panel has accepted most of its suggestions. Sources also say that the law panel has recommended the addition of a new chapter to the Constitution on One Nation, One Election. This in order to aid simultaneous polls for Lok Sabha, state assemblies and local bodies by 2029. It is also suggested the One Nation, One Poll panel to sync both states and general polls of the 2029. Sources also say that the panel is in favor of its rollout from 2029. As I've mentioned, the panel will now submit the final report to the Law Ministry. I'm being joined by Harish at this point. Harish, of course, with the details that you have accessed from this particular law panel, the one big takeaway seems the 2029 date or deadline that they are looking to implement this. But apart from this, what else are you really picking up?
Yes, in fact, Sneha, it's a very big development as far as the raging debate over the need for a One Nation, One Poll that is synchronized simultaneous polls is concerned. As per the suggestion of the Law Ministry, the Law Commission had undertaken a feasibility study and its report is ready, and Times now has accessed some details in that report. And as per my sources, the Law Commission is strongly in favor of rollout of simultaneous polls from 2029, that is synchronized polls for Lok Sabha, state assemblies, panchayat and corporations. And since a lot of groundwork is required, it said that it won't be possible from 2024, so maybe from 2029, because certain major amendments in Constitution is required, some changes in Representation of People's Act is required. Coming to Constitution, in fact, the Law Commission, according to sources, suggested that addition of a separate chapter in Chapter 15, which deals with elections, a separate chapter on One Nation, One Poll, with sub-chapters like simultaneous poll, sustainability of simultaneous elections, and also a common electoral roll for Lok Sabha election, assembly election, panchayat and corporation polls. And regarding the benefits of One Nation, One Poll, the Law Commission sources say that it's of the view that it will save public funds, in fact, reduce the burden on administrative setup and also the security forces. The government can focus better on implementation of its policies. Administrative machinery can involve more in development measures rather than constant electioneering. These are the major highlights of the report, which will be submitted to the Law Ministry maybe very soon, maybe tomorrow or day after. And as you rightly said, during the deliberations of the Kovind panel, Ramnath Kovind panel formed by the government, the chairperson of the Law Commission, Justice Ruturaj Awasthi, had attended most of these meetings and given presentations during which he had divulged about some of these Law Commission recommendations. And according to the sources, most of the report and most of the recommendations of the Law Commission have been accepted by the Kovind panel and will be part of the report which it will release next week. The Kovind committee report is also expected very soon. And another key recommendation from the Law Commission report is that it has suggested postponement or preponement of state elections to synchronize with Lok Sabha election. For example, the states which have to hold elections before the Lok Sabha elections in 2029, a constitutional amendment may be made to extend the assembly sessions of that particular state, and states which have to go to elections, scheduled to go for elections after the Lok Sabha elections, their duration will be in fact preponed through some constitutional amendment. So postponement and preponement of assembly duration is also part of this suggestion. Remember,
Right.
this Law Commission had embarked on this on this mission, following a recommendation by the recommendation
Right.
made, suggestion made, reference made by the Law Ministry, and had held extensive consultation with bureaucrats, political parties, academicians, and several experts before drafting this report, which is expected to be submitted to the Law Ministry
Right.
in a day or two. Back to you.
Right. Thank you very much, Harish, for joining us with all of those details. My Harish bringing you the details of this panel report that has been submitted and will be submitted before the ministry in a matter of, say, maximum 48 hours. Thank you very much, Harish, for joining us. I'm also being joined by Dr. S.Y. Quraishi, former Chief Election Commissioner. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. My first question to you, it seems, at least from the information that the Times Network has gathered, that the panel has recommended for the deadline as 2029, as in it should be implemented for the 2029 elections, with several rounds of elections, whether it be state or the local body elections, as well as the parliamentary elections, all synchronized. How do you really look at this?
Well, at this stage, frankly, it is premature to comment because we haven't seen the report. It is only speculative and based on some leak. Let us see what the report is. And of course, one thing is very clear that before 2029, it is not feasible, not possible, because there are lots of logistical requirements. For instance, we need to make the 3 times the EVMs and VVPAT, which means from 20 lakhs, we'll have to go to 55, 60 lakhs. So they will take time to build, manufacture. So this is the least. And of course, the constitutional amendments and everything. So we will see how it goes.
Also, just to get a perspective on this, for this to really be finalized, isn't it necessary that all political parties need to agree to this at all levels? How much of that would practically work out?
Yes, in fact, the Prime Minister from the beginning has been talking of building a national consensus, which is why for the last 10 years it has not been thrust on the nation. Discussion has been going on. The parliamentary committee sat on it, Niti Aayog sat on it, one law commission, then now the second law commission, 2 law commissions discussed it. It was obviously a very complex issue, which is why it has taken so long, and I don't know what exactly are the conclusion. Now, my only question and the fear is that, okay, we have the first 2029 elections in a simultaneous election situation. What is the solution offered for a government falling before that, which is how it began in 1959? So the Lok Sabha can also go into minority, as the Vajpayee government had fallen in 13 days. So, or state governments will continue to fall. What is the solution given? How acceptable it is? We really don't know. We must have answer to all these things before we can give a comment very authoritatively.
Right. Dr. Quraishi, just for our viewers who may be wondering, do we have precedents of a system like this in any major democracies across the world?
Yes. The US, for instance, every election when Biden and Trump were fighting, that day there were 21 ballot papers of different elections. They were distributed. So 2030, that has been the case in the US and maybe in some other countries also. I had once gone to Kenya. There were 7 elections together. So that is possible. That happened. Only the thing was a premature dissolution. What is there now? This 21 election which I was talking about in USA, it was also included election in some state of our Supreme Court judges and all kinds of posts, governors. So in this case, we are talking of as elected assemblies which have a history of premature dissolution for whatever reason and which cannot be ruled out in the future.
Dr. Quraishi, also, to be able to implement this, of course, you would require constitutional amendments. But that is just putting it very easily, because it will need a sea change in the constitutional provisions under which the elections are held currently. Would you just
Yes.
explain that to our viewers a bit?
Yes, yes. There are five provisions of the Constitution because the Constitution has said that Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha, they will have 5 year duration. Now, if you have to dissolve assembly prematurely, either if it is your own party, you can ask them to dissolve voluntarily. It could be done. But you cannot force them to dissolve. And how can you extend the term? You cannot extend the term of an assembly even by a day, 1 day. You cannot. Unless, of course, the constitutional amendment can do anything, you can even change the constitution. So, how exactly it will be done? And then, as you rightly said, that for these constitutional amendments to come into operation, you require a consensus of political parties. So, it will not be easy, but I'm sure this committee would have thought of all the problems and would have come out with some solution. In fact, having written at least 20, 30 articles and having appeared 200 times on TV channels like yours, I am also waiting for the what magic wand this committee produces. Because till today, all the committees I mentioned, Parliament, Niti Aayog, Law Commission, could not come up with a solution because the problem were of constitutional nature.
Absolutely. In fact, sir, we are also being joined by OP Rawat, if I can also include him in this conversation. OP Rawat, he's also the former Chief Election Commissioner. OP Rawat, if I can just ask you this question, do you agree with the fact that one nation, one poll will be more cost efficient because the House is divided on that?
Actually, there is no empirical study on this issue. And therefore, with objectivity, nobody can say that it will be more economical or more efficient. So we need a good study on that. And only then we can come to a conclusion that it will be financially a better option.
OP Rawat, I asked Mr. Quraishi this question as well. How would you look at the fact that this panel report suggests for synchronization of elections, not only state and the parliamentary elections, but also several other elections that are held, including the local body elections? I mean, do you see India come together not only as a nation to be able to vote in that manner, but also politically see eye to eye on that issue?
Who are you asking?
Mr. O.P. Rawat, for you. The question is for you. Mr. O.P. Rawat, if you can hear me. All right, we seem to have some issue with Mr. O.P. Rawat. Dr. S.Y. Quraishi, I possibly will ask you that question. Do you see this as a cost-effective thing? I mean, that is one of the suggestions or recommendations that the panel seems to have made according to the information that my colleague has got. It says it favors the fact that it could be more cost-efficient. How much do you see that as a reality?
Well, yeah, the
stability
cost of
versus cost efficiency debate that is around this.
Yes, yes. Management of the election, as Mr. Rawat will bear me out, is actually not very much. About the last estimate was less than 5,000 crores, which for a country of our size is peanuts. So, and now, okay, we will, instead of doing election every year, second year, third year, if we do it once in 5 years, we will save some money. But as I said, we need 3 times the VVPAT and EVMs at the same time. Now, to build 40 lakh EVMs and VVPATs, that will cost a fortune. And if you take into account the interest that will be incurred on that, the cost will be almost the same. So Mr. Rawat is absolutely right that there is no empirical evidence, but common sense says that repeated election means, in fact, more than the cost of to the government or election commission, it is the cost to the political parties, because they are always in election mode. Every election, 5, 10, 20 crores they spend. So therefore, if they are fighting it together, they'll probably save some money. Although I have always been saying that if you are sincere about cutting the cost, there is an alternative route. That is, put a cap on the expenditure by the political parties. Now, for instance, for Lok Sabha, you can't spend more than 95 lakhs. for the Vidhan Sabha 45 lakhs, but your party
Okay.
can spend 10, 20, 30 lakhs on you, sorry, crores on you. So now to put a cap on that, and immediately the cost will come down.
Okay.
You are not
All
looking at
right.
that, because that puts into question the sincerity
That
of the
cap itself,
proposal.
I mean,
What is
you know,
it?
in terms of the elections that are being contested today, the way it's being driven, it's hard to imagine a cap like that, sir. But OP Rawat, sir, your line got disconnected. I think you've joined us back. Just to ask you the question again, how much do you see political parties come together eye to eye to be able to bring about that constitutional changes that are required to make this a reality for India, even though it's been proposed for 2029? It's not going to be an easy road ahead.
Certainly, actually, political consensus building should be the prime objective. First, that is done, then you will have very smooth road ahead. The thing is that this effort was not visible, and many parties are still having certain doubts and suspicions. That is where a lot of hard work needed to be done to sort of sort out all their thoughts about suspicions and doubts as to this will become like this. All those things needed to be brought on the table before all the political parties. And once the consensus is built, then there would have been a total smooth sailing.
Right. All right, sir. Thank you so much, both of you, OP Rawat as well as Dr. S.Y. Quraishi, for joining us. Thank you for bringing in your very important perspectives. Even though you both may differ on certain opinions, you both have held this extremely important constitutional position. I'm also being joined right now by Asif Bamla, spokesperson for BJP, as well as Sulaiman Mohammad Khan, the spokesperson for Congress. To both of you, to get your initial reactions to the information that's come in, Asif Bamla, how do you look at this? 2029 could be a game changer for India, but before that, political consensus is miles away.
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी और हमारी सरकार जो है इस विषय को लेके जो है प्रतिबद्ध है, और इतने बड़े देश में इतने सारे चुनाव बार बार करते हुए देश की विकास के लिए और देश की आर्थिक परिस्थिति के लिए भी योग्य नहीं है. That's what keeping in mind, Honorable Amit Shah ji also, I think, just gave a review about the same yesterday, and the COVID the COVID panel, the former President Kovind ji's panel has accepted the suggestions, and the report will be submitted to the Law Committee very soon. And we accept that because, of course, it would have been in practice in 2024. But since yet there is a lot of legwork to be done, a consensus with the other political parties needs to be done. So this would be, of course, implemented in 2029, and that's what we propose and we intend to. But having said that, this will definitely save a lot of money. It will save a lot of burden to the administration, and it will save the public money. So it's in the interest, and a lot of security forces which are normally deployed to execute every election. If you see Gram Panchayat election in every city, in every state, in the entire country, some point in time, somewhere or the other, there is some election or the other happening.
Okay.
So that doesn't give a very consistent arrangement for the people also to set their mood and temperament towards the work mode. And the people of the country know that Article 370 ho ya triple talaq ho, for that you need a decisive government, which only Modi government can give. So this bill also would be passed in the next government that we come in, wherein, which is why we request
the former
people to give us a
CEC, Mr.
thumping
Quraishi, as well speak. He, of course, is of the opinion, and the House is divided on this, that the amount of money that's spent for elections in India is nothing in comparison to what India stands as a whole, or internationally what it is spent. He said there are other options, other ways out to put caps. That, of course, is going to be restraining political parties. How much of that is practically possible is another thing. But let me just, before I get back to you for this follow-up question, Sulaiman Mohammad Khan, 2029 is what it appears is going to be when the panel is recommending for the One Nation, One Poll to be implemented. Do you see that happen?
I think for making such a drastic change or meddling with the Indian constitutional structure, one needs to have a structural debate, discussion to discuss the advantages and disadvantage of this meddling with the Indian constitutional system. So educate consultation with all political parties, including Congress party, all opposition regional parties, stakeholders. Everyone needs to, have an opinion, and suggestions can be invited. Rather than a discussion in the media, the government or the election commission should have a consultation, a structural discussion before, meddling with the constitution. Secondly, at this juncture, when the Modi government's trust in the Modi government is low, and opposition, as a Congress party and other opposition parties, have been, telling the nation, and that is a fact, that the constitutional institutions and authorities have been weakened, including the election commission, the investigating agencies, the media, etc. So in this structure, now you are going for a one nation, one election to further concentration of power or centralization of power. So even further, the centralization of power is, excessive centralization of the power will be against the regional aspirations and the spirit. So if the elections are done simultaneously, the national issues will dominate the state issues. Thirdly, this argument has been made time and again by the BJP leaders, and I think Prime Minister has also said that it will do a lot of cost cutting. The funds will be saved. There is a report by the Lok Sabha Secretariat. They have done the calculation, which says that there will be additional expenditure of rupees 10,000 crores, and the EVMs and VVPATs which will be taken and purchased for some 28 lakh of these machines, they will be used only for 3 cycles. Generally, they are used for 3 or 4 cycles. So they will be phased out after that. So
That's
additional
right.
cost of 10,000 crores will be done.
That's right.
And so these are all these things which needs to be debated. And we have a history that initially after the independence, all elections held simultaneously. Then there were certain elections so this has been going on. I think this is a better system right now with the circumstances prevailing in the country. And I think this keeps the political parties and leaders under check.
Okay, one minute to both of you. Again, Asif Bamla, first to you. You heard what the Congress spokesperson spoke. You heard what Suleiman Mohammad Khan spoke. 2 things. Meddling with the constitution. This is a terminology which the opposition has time and again been using for this particular measure. Secondly, it keeps the political parties on their toes. There's a constant cycle of elections, which means if you don't perform in one cycle, you're going to be held to account in the other. Why? What's the problem with it? That, of course, is not the part of this debate right now, but you heard the kind of arguments that come in. Political consensus for a constitutional amendment seems far-fetched, sir.
You see, I would like to correct one statement by Mr. Suleiman that the trust of the people of the nation is not with Modi ji. Let me tell you this, that the nation only and only trusts the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, because Modi ji is सबका परिवार. You see, जो आपने एक कल शगुफा
आपके both of you have made your political points. Now let's come to the mudda. Asif Bamla, you've made your point. You've given the political rhetoric and the counter. Let's get to the point now. A minute to you. Less than a minute.
No, give me 30 seconds more. Give me 30 seconds more. Give me 30 seconds more. So sure. My issue here is that there is a proper legal framework that is being established now, and not that we will not be taking. You see, had this to be done in a haphazard or in a hunky-dory manner, it would have been done in 24 itself. But no, we understand. We have to take the political parties into consideration. But to implement this, the Bharatiya Janata Party has to come in a 2/3 majority. Only then this implementation will be possible, because for this you need to have a strong leader like a Narendra Modi ji and a strong vision who can implement this, execute this to ensure that the country, the exchequer of the country is saved. आपको क्या फर्क फर्क पड़ रहा है, ये तो जनता का पैसा है, जाने दीजिए। बट नहीं, ये देश में
last 1 minute, Sulaiman Mohammed Khan, quickly come in. I think the 2029 deadline, also speaking, is very, very important because the election results of 2024 is going to very clearly determine that. 400 par, if BJP manages that, will they be able to manage the other round for 2029? Isn't 2024 then the battleground? Do you think you can score in that?
I am done with this 400 par. Such a stupid argument. They have the maximum in North India. South India actually, if not hates them, but despise them in a manner that they don't allow them to win. Where will they cross 250 even or 200 even? So this is 400 par is a complete fallacious argument. And this Mr. spokesperson of the BJP, you have to come on facts. There is another tier, third tier of the election, the Panchayati Raj system. How will you manage the Panchayati Raj? The state factors are there. In the central election, there are central factors. All the agencies, the police authorities...
Which technically is the heart of India. Panchayati elections may not be as grand as the parliamentary elections, but really is the core of India as well.
Started doing that.
Okay, I am totally out of time. I'm being told to wrap. Important development here, 2029 being given as a deadline, at least in their recommendation. Has to be seen how it's going to be implemented. 2024 elections are going to be crucial for this. Thank you very much, Mr. Bamla and Mr. Khan, for joining us. It's time for a short break.